What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Matt Give the Hands, back to you with another video. And in this haircut tutorial, we have 3 young kids all getting a haircut. The same video. They're 3 best buds. Their moms are best friends. They all brought them in back to back to back, so they got to see each other get a haircut. They're all going to be 3 different haircuts, so stay tuned. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and start parting off his hair through the middle. We're going to be doing a faux hawk. He has a pretty crazy cowlick in his front. Now, all the kids that I cut in this video, they all have cowlicks. So we're gonna show you how to work around it, how to cut it, how to either just cut against it, or leave it long, right? That's my my opinion whenever it comes to cowlicks. I tell the moms or the dads, if you want to keep it long, then you have to cut it with the cowlick, the way the cowlick folds down or grows, right? Now, if you just want to just get rid of it, then you have to cut it short. It's one or the other. And this particular haircut, being that it's a faux hawk, his cowlick is to the left side. If you're looking at the screen, his hair kind of goes into the middle naturally, so it all worked out. But you know, going towards the back of the hair, we all have cowlicks, so just be mindful of that. See which way the hair wants to fall and cut it like that. But like I said, this haircut is going to be a faux hawk. We're going to do, I believe, a number 1 or a number 2 on the sides. This was probably like one of the first videos that I recorded coming out of quarantine break, so it's been sitting in the archives for a little while. Yeah, guys. After we did the first side, we connected it in the middle, and then we're just going to cross-check our work. Bring everything together, make sure it's all cut evenly. And we're just gonna do a rough draft up top. Once I cut the sides down and everything like that and kind of style it, you'll see me cut more up top. And all 3 kids sat in the chair. Perfect, they didn't move, they didn't complain, they didn't cry. I've been cutting these kids for a while now, so they trust me. And it just makes me feel good that I know how to be patient and you know, cut. I'm a father of my own. I'm a father of my 2 kids now, so I know what it feels like to kind of like be patient with kids. You know, talk to them, ask about what's their favorite superheroes, favorite cartoon. You want to relate to them. You want to, you know, become a kid, if I say so myself. Like I'm a kid at heart, because I got 2 kids, right? I'm reliving my childhood through my daughters with cartoons or whatever it is. So whenever kids sit in my chair, I can relate to them to a certain extent, and I'll just kind of ask them about what's their favorite superhero, their favorite toy, their favorite cartoon, and just, you know, like I said, just be patient, guys. Yeah, so I believe this is a number, it looks like a number 3. Yeah, it looks like a number 3. Number 3 or number 2. That's going to be our base. We're not going to go any lower than that. The mom doesn't want to go to like skin or real, real short. So right here, we're just going to go ahead and line them up around the back. We're using the cordless wall detailers. And yes, I sped this up because I do have 3 haircuts in this video. So I'm basically just showing you guys how I cut these 3 kids, right? And I'll explain as I go. You could tell his sideburn area is a little light around the C cup, so you're just going to see that I line up the baby hairs. It's not really like a detailed curve. But yeah, guys, I want to go ahead and say this in this video. Hopefully the ones that saw my, I believe my second to last video, I said in that video that I wanted to help somebody. And I found someone. I'm going to help them, but I don't want to publicize it. I got a lot of great stories in my emails. I got a lot of great stories in my comment section. Man, I mean, I knew there were some real life problems out there, and families that were, you know, really struggling. But man, my God, I just send prayers over the families and the ones that reached out to me that I wasn't able to help. I wish I could save the world, but just know, I don't want to publicize it. I just know that I am going to help somebody, and it's in my heart to do that. So I just don't want to put it on social media. But guys, this is the finished product for the first haircut of Faux Hawk up top. Nice clean cut. He's ready for pictures, a family outing, ready to have a play date with his friends. Okay, sir, how was your experience? Was it awesome? What about the booster seat? What do you give it from a 0 to a 10? A 10? Nice. The reason why I asked him about the booster seat, because I just purchased a new booster seat. It sits across the arms of the chair so you don't sink in, the kids don't sink in. And I got it custom made with embroidery. You want to do the half on the side or a 1? Half. But so this particular client, man, he likes it nice, tight to the scalp. We're gonna do a half all the way around. We're gonna do a nice comb over up top, nice gradiency and nice contrast on this blend. Now, whenever I did a half on his haircut the first time, it was a little difficult for me, being that he's a kid, he moves around. But now we've mastered it. He loves his haircuts. He always asks his mom, when is Mr. Matt gonna cut my hair? And whenever he walks into the barbershop, I don't even have to get him. He walks straight to the chair, sits in the seat, and just enjoys his haircut. Loves the time. I love the time with him, and he's just an adorable kid. All three of these kids in these videos, man, they're perfect. So again, a half on the side, guys. Now, if a parent or even just a client comes in and says they want a shadow fade or they want to see sideburns or neckline, I always go and tell them a half is short enough to where you can see a detailed line, but it's more like a shadow fade. It's not necessarily skin, but it's close enough, but you can still see a lineup. After that one, we're going to take the one guard all the way open. We'll begin to put it in the middle and then close it. Now, wherever it's light at, don't worry about that. We'll come back and knock that out with the half guard. The top, wherever it's dark, we're going to come with a 2, and then we'll jump back down to our 1.5. So right here, I go into my 1.5. I'll go ahead and knock out the bottom line, whatever the 1 left behind. And I do this because normally I'll just jump to the 2 and come back to the half guard, but being that I've cut his hair before, I know the system that works for me on his hair. I'll go ahead and just do the half. That way it doesn't, for some reason, if I were to go to a 2 and to a 3 and then come back to my half guard, it just doesn't blend right. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this number 1 out with the half guard, and then we'll go into our 2. But you can already tell the nice gradiency and contrast into that blend. There's no lines, they're disappearing. There's different systems for different clients. Well, let me say it again. The same system, right? But there's different ways to approach it, in my opinion. Like, however I cut, it's just how I feel throughout the day. Alright, so this is the number 2 guard. We're just blending it into the top. We'll come back down with our 1.5 guard. Not the 1 guard, but the 1.5 guard. Okay, sorry to get y'all confused. That was the number 3. Because I can tell the different sizes of the guard. That was the number 3. Now we went to the 2. Now this is a 1.5. So the reason why I use the number 3 is so I can remove bulk a little bit. So right here, probably jump back to the 3 again, lever open. And I always start with the lever open just because if you cut the hair shorter, you can't put it back. If you have the lever open and you try to cut and it's not cutting, then you can work your way down, right? You can always take hair off. You can't put it back on. That's why I always say start with the lever open. It's basically just trial and error. If you don't see it cutting, then close the lever. So again, this is the number 1.5 guard right here. Blending in that hair. Don't worry, like the bulk that's hanging over here, we're gonna clean that up with some shear work. And then right here, if I see some dark spots, dark areas, whatever the 1.5 left behind, I'll take my 1 guard open and just work that corner to remove those dark spots. So just add a little bit more gradiency. Same steps on this side, guys. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and start cutting the top with some scissors. We're going to wet it, make sure it's nice and wet all the way even. And what I have in this water, guys, I have hair tonic in there. So the fresh heads that I usually use on waves, I'll spray the hair down and brush the waves down. This is the same thing that I use whenever I do scissor cuts. It's basically a hair tonic. It cleans the scalp, cleans the hair, get all the oils out, any kind of dirt. Those natural oils, right? Sometimes natural oils are good, but whenever you want that hair to be clean, to have a nice cut, I always use the water with the hair tonic in it. And it smells good. My clients love it. So they're like, man, what is that? What kind of water is that? I use the Fresh Heads hair tonic in there. So basically what I did was I just cut it even all the way across the top, started in the middle, worked my way to the sides, and brought everything together. Like I said, it's going to be a comb over with a half on the sides. And then right here, I just did some shear over combs to kind of blend that darkness out a little bit. Now we're gonna line him up. And you see that I'm using my my rose gold cordless FX trimmers, the skeleton ones. And I have them set to where I can use them on adults and kids. There's no redness, no irritation. He's not jumping because it's too sharp. I have him set just right. And of course that Tune 45 power clip on there, so when I lay it down on the power mat, the Tune 45 power mat, it charges for me. Now we're gonna go ahead and put some gel in his hair, style him up, and then we're gonna cut the last kid of this video, his best friend. This is dope to see that, like, the moms came in together, the kids came in together, they were all having fun, they love seeing each other get their haircuts. Right here, you're gonna see me do a little bit of a 1.5 around this area, just kind of lighten that up. Those baby hairs are pretty longer than what I did on the side, so I just wanted to make sure it's evened out. This is the finished product, a half on the sides, comb over, nice contrast. Adorable kid, set like a champ. No lineup, guys. The mom wants him just to have that nice, clean little boy look, nice haircut. So here's the last one for this video. His hair was a lot longer than the other kids. And it's just so funny because kids are so curious. And like I said, I'm a father, right? I have two daughters. One's coming in October 18th, and I have a 5-year-old right now that's going to be 6. But they're so curious. They come into the barbershop, right? They look around, they hear noises, they hear talking, they hear music, they hear the machines, they see, people in there, so they're curious. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. So right here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is start cutting the top. We're going to do a comb over on him as well. Kind of keep it a little bit longer in the front so he can flop over. So then right there, I told him, look at the camera so he can look straight. At the end of the day, guys, kids are going to move. They're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to be antsy. But sometimes if we have sometimes I'll give the kids my phone to watch YouTube Kids. It's kind of like a electronic pacifier. You kind of got to choose your battles, right? Like, do you want your kid to be quiet and watch the phone and sit still? Or do you want them screaming and jumping around going crazy? An electronic pacifier works every time. YouTube Kids. So after we cut the top, guys, we're going to cut the sides. I believe I started with a... So this is the number 1. I did a number 1. This is the lever all the way open, so about a 1.5. Got the 1 guard open. And right there, I kind of just push his head down. That way he can stretch the back of his neck so I can get in those creases. Right here, I'm using my cordless wall seniors. Kids are gonna get itchy. What I like to say for the kids, if they don't want to itch, just kind of tell them, like, if you keep moving around, the hair's gonna go down into the cape. Because you don't want to do the cape too tight, because then they feel uncomfortable. They feel like they're getting choked. Thankfully, we have air compressors at the shop, so we can blow off the hair as so. So I kind of just let them know, like, hang tight, I'm gonna blow off the hair. This is the number 2 guard, I believe. Yeah, number 2 guard. And I'm just blending into whatever the 1 left behind. And then I'll come back with the 1.5 guard to blend whatever the 2 left behind. You gotta stack those blends, guys. Stack those guards. Stack those guards. Alright, here's the 1.5 guard, lever all the way open, just taking away whatever the 2 left behind. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, guys, as much as I enjoyed doing these videos. Again, I believe this is a cuteness overload video. 3 best friends getting a haircut together. No better feeling than that. And just seeing that how close they are, right? They're gonna grow up with each other. They're gonna keep coming to the barbershops together, and hopefully I get to see them grow. Grow and start, middle school and high school. And I have kids like that now. I've been cutting hair in Tampa, Florida for about 7 years, going on 8 years now. I moved here in 2013, and I got kids since 2013 that I've been cutting. It's just crazy how they stay young and we get old. But I love it. The youth is the future. I love cutting kids. There's some barbers out there that do not cut kids. I think that's crazy to me. You gotta take care of the future. You gotta take care of the youth. They're the next generation. You may as a barber motivate or inspire a kid to become a barber just by giving off that energy. As they get older, they're gonna see, that it's not just haircuts. It's an experience. There's a culture. The industry is amazing. It's always growing. It's never staying stagnant. And trends are changing every single day. So whenever you're cutting kids, guys, just just like a little secret. With the opposite hand, you can have a firm grip on the client's head, right? On the kid's head. You don't want to squeeze it too tight. You don't want to make him uncomfortable. You do not want to hurt the kid. But have a firm grip to where if he moves, you can pull back on your clipper. That way you don't mess up. You don't accidentally cut the kid around the ear or whatever it is, right? Just make sure you have a decent grip, not too hard, on the client's head, and that way you can kind of control or move to where you want his head to be at. Because again, they're curious. They're going to want to look around. If they hear a sound, if they see another kid walk in and he walks past them, they're going to want to turn around and see where that kid is going. It's okay. You got to be patient. Got to be patient. And I talk to these kids as if they were like 10 years old. I let them know, like, hey buddy, if you keep moving, like, you're gonna have a messed up haircut. And that's reality. If you do not want this kid to have a messed up haircut, then we gotta stay, still as much as possible and be patient as much as possible. That's the last thing I want to do, is mess up a kid's haircut. I mean, look at him right there. He was just moving back and forth. I let him do his thing. I'm working on his time. Now we're lining him up. We're gonna go ahead and style the top. And I feel like doing a basic haircut like this with a one on the sides, close enough to the scalp to where you can see gradients and a nice blend. I think if you do a ball fade on a kid like, you know, his age, you know, he's so curious, moving around and stuff, I feel like it can be frustrating sometimes versus just doing a one on the sides, doing a nice cut up top with, you know, a comb over. Because sometimes I'll just educate the parents and let them know, like, if your kid's gonna move, it's gonna be difficult for me to do a ball fade. So I feel like if you do a one, it's close enough. There's some safety involved. That way you don't accidentally cut the kid or whatever. But this is pretty much the finished product. He wants to wave bye to you guys. He's feeling himself. These three kids are super adorable. Thank you for the moms for bringing them in. I hope you enjoy this haircut tutorials. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. And as always, Team Gifted, stay gifted.